Excuse me?
Chelsea, take Amber's papers and throw them against the wall.
But why?
Because I said so.
But they're Amber's.
It's okay, I'll take the heat.
Okay. Rachel, I did it!
This example shows exactly what Hitler did to Germany.
He used totalitarianism to control people's lives and make them blindly do whatever they wanted, like how I threw the paper against the wall without really knowing what I was doing.
Germany, under Hitler, is qualified as totalitarian. Totalitarianism pertains to a centralized government that does not tolerate parties of differing opinions, and that exercises dictatorial control over many aspects of life. Hitler's role in Germany's government exemplifies a totalitarian dictator role. Hitler used political and governmental ideologies to gain control over the German people. Hitler also used propaganda to gain supporters and enforce his beliefs into all aspects of their lives. Hitler's harsh rule over Germany can be qualified as totalitarian.
Germany, under Hitler's rule, was indeed totalitarian because of the use of Nazism and fascism. These two ideologies were utilized to appeal to the public of Germany in a way of manipulation and extreme nationalism. Fascism is an extreme form of nationalism where the government is ran by a dictator and that has complete control and forcibly suppresses opposition and criticism of any kind. Hitler was fascist and strived for the rise of Germany out of its broken state thanks to the Treaty of Versailles. The treaty was written up after World War I by the great powers. In the treaty, the countries demanded for Germany to pay reparations, limit the size of their military, and strip them of any foreign territories. The economy in Germany was terrible because of the lack of money they had because they had to pay the reparations. And when the Great Depression hit, Germany was under the verge of bankruptcy. The people were desperate for a change, which is why they were so open to Hitler and his fascist beliefs. Hitler went ahead and tore up the treaty and brought the nation out of depression. Not only that, but the streets that were once home to angry mobs and beggars were now safer than ever before. New jobs were open to the young professionals, and Germany restored itself as a great power. They liked the idea of the leader who wanted their country to be the best in any means necessary, which is why they were so open to Nazism. Nazism is a National Socialist German Workers' Party in Germany that seized political control of a country's culture, economics, and political activities. The Nazi Party had anti-sentiments and racist hatred towards the Jewish religion. There were people who disagreed with these basic beliefs in Nazism, but they were suppressed due to the laws that eliminated all political opposition. There were even some Nazis that Hitler executed who he felt were disloyal to the ideologies of Nazism. But for the most part, the people of Germany supported the Nazis in the beginning of their reign, or the beginning of the Third Reich. Through Nazism, people had to change their general belief on things that they once valued. For example, along with isolating the Jewish population, the Nazis tried to get the Catholic Church to support them in their rule. Though they didn't fully agree to following them, the Church did support them in some way. The popularity of Hitler made it possible for him to pull the wool over the eyes of the people of Germany and take complete control. They liked the ideas of a good economy and were blinded by how Hitler was able to do it. The Kristallnacht is an example of the Nazis taking more control on the German people. Joseph Goebbels, a Nazi propaganda minister, who claimed that a young Jewish boy who shot a man for mistreating his parents was an incentive to suppress the Jews from Germany. Leaders were assembled to investigate and assault the Jews in their local area. The police were ordered by the government not to intervene. This shows the totalitarian rule Hitler had in the country because he was able to control the law enforcement from doing anything that they thought the government could do to go against the Mein Kampf. Basically, the lives of the German people were under Hitler's thumb. He can do literally anything he wanted to the country, and the people were forced to go along with it. Over 900 synagogues were vandalized and burned, and 8,000 Jews' own business were wrecked. There were other ways Hitler had such overwhelming control over Germany. Through propaganda, laws, and general violence, Nazism took over Germany quickly and fairly easily.
Hitler used totalitarianism in all aspects of life. Germany's government was the main point of his concern. In many ways, he took control of the government and economy and made it his own. In 1934, he combined the offices of Chancellor and President into his personal rule as absolute, known as the Führer. He rejected the Treaty of Versailles that was set up after World War I, taking his own positions in the book he wrote, Mein Kampf. In the Mein Kampf, he mentioned his hate for Jews and how they all needed to be killed. He also mentioned his political ideas, which included making alliances with Italy and Britain, to be followed by war with France. Hitler suspended civil rights, destroyed the Communist Party, and disbanded other political parties. He wanted no threats against himself. He also used secret police, known as the Gestapo, to root out any opposition against his rule. He brought big business and labor under government control and organized a brutal system of terror. Although many people oppressed his ideas, he got much support through propaganda. He used propaganda to make the economy look good, while in fact, most money was going towards military costs. He changed his views in newspapers and even changed curriculum in schools to go along with Nazism. He had taken over the government, economy, social media, and education, declaring his rule as totalitarianism.
In summation, Germany under Hitler's rule would be considered totalitarian. Totalitarian is the dictator rule that has complete control over all aspects of citizens' lives. Hitler portrayed a totalitarian leader in the years he ruled Germany. Examples of his strict rule are seen throughout his outlook on political and governmental issues. Hitler's main tool for spreading his views and enforcing fear into the German people was propaganda. Hitler controlled his people's lives. He had control over what they could think, what they did, and how they lived in his Aryan nation. Hitler's rule over Germany directly corresponds to the definition of a totalitarian leader. Germany under Hitler's rule would be considered totalitarian.